Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. Borg Jurati takes over La Sirena with a newly assimilated assault force. Everyone else runs for cover. Picard flashes back as they play hide and seek with lasers. The Emergency Combat Hologram has a familiar face, and Soong chases Picard into the basement.
Why are you keep pausing in the hall whenever you're supposed to be doing something? I mean, all of you. What? You're reminiscing. Reminiscing about what? You're supposed to do a job. It's not cool that all of a sudden you guys stop and your eyes glaze over. You're thinking about your past. You haven't been alive long enough or created long enough to be thinking about a past. What past? When you first opened your eyes and you saw Rocky in a mist with no clothes on. No, I guarantee you he wasn't using that. It was an actual tool.
Wouldn't that have been gorillas in the mist?
What? You're in a castle? What the hell? You're reciting the show. I'm going to have you guys stop watching the... Speaking of which, you made me go through the light again. Rocky?
Yo.
Chief, it looks like dots are stopping in a hall and reminiscing about a distant past, which isn't distant. I think they've watched Picard.
They get it. They're wired in. They have the network access to the Paramount Plus network.
Because they're rolling down the hall and all of a sudden they stop short and they kind of mumble to themselves and...
Well, that's nothing. You should have heard them watching Enterprise the other day.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God, it was so horrible.
They were singing the song.
They were humming the tune.
But
it
not
was
the
horrible.
first version, the new version with the tambourine in it.
Oh, no.
Either way, it was bad.
I can't believe they're doing that. They're just... Okay, I guess we're supposed to get started. The light is on, so hopefully that signal didn't make it out for people to hear. But I don't know. So, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Wait, one of your dots just came in here in a second. Whoa. Yes, Chief is going to redo you, and he's going to make sure that you guys don't mumble in the hall again. Yes, I understand that. Yes. So, what are you doing now? Why are you singing to me? Because Chief is going to do something to you? What?
Isn't that a TikTok thing? That's a TikTok thing, right?
He's spinning around. Stop. Get out of here. Get out of here. God, dog it. He stings.
That's as annoying as Baby Shark.
Almost. Oh, now you got Heather triggered.
Well, we could do Baby Yoda.
See, you triggered
Baby
Heather.
Yoda do 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 do. Baby Yoda do 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 do. Papa Luke do 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 do. Okay, because I could keep going.
I thank all of you guys for being members of us up until this point. So I understand if you all leave in droves, it's because of what just happened. But if you didn't, thanks for sticking around. This is Starfleet Underground, and I assume you already know that, or else you wouldn't be listening to us, because we're not the type of podcast one just stumbles on. So thank you. And if you're a kid under the age of 18, and even 19 is kind of pushing it, you need to leave.
19's okay.
Yeah,
Well, there's some adults that won't even find this appropriate. So there's 20 and 30-year-olds that will be like, no,
no, we
can't do this.
We are dirty little secrets. I have people whispering to us all the time.
Well, that's because they need to take the Delta Quadrant out their ass.
Oh,
yeah.
And that's why we're not good for kids.
We're not. My name is Captain Nathan Adams, and I'm here with the full crew today. I have my science officer.
Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer. And Captain, I think those dots started singing the Enterprise song because I was cooking and they told me not to cook.
Wait, red alert, red alert,
I know,
red alert.
right?
Cooking?
I was cooking. And they told me if I don't stop cooking, they'll start singing the Enterprise song. And that's exactly what happened.
That explains things.
I wonder what that awful howling was.
Yeah. It was, I had to turn the acoustics down in my cabin.
Our dots don't have auto-tune.
No, they don't.
Neither do we.
This is true.
Ooh, I don't know how they discovered TikTok, because now they're doing the oh no's. We have also our computer expert and liaison for members that come on board the ship. My number one.
Hey, I'm Patrick. I'm number one. I'm the computer guy and the foreign species liaison.
and the man who makes us go and actually sounds intelligent most of the time.
I do?
And, yeah, that's because we give you such horrible material. I don't know how you do it.
He makes us go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rocky. I'm the engineer of the show and our ship. And just got back from Freecloud, and it was amazing. I brought one of the dots with me, and it was missing for like 4 days. And then I found it. It was disguised as a slot machine, and it made a lot of money, which, of course, is not useful to us now in the future.
But at least when we go back for the next convention, we could dig that out, provided it's good.
I'm assuming the dot watched over right before you guys went there.
It's possible.
That's probably why it disappeared for a few days.
Hey, it was a slot machine. I think it was hanging out in the Venetian.
Did you have a chance to at least relax some? Because I know that you were so overworked that I went in and you had a hat on that said Rios, and you were like, I am Runda. I will fix this. So did you sleep finally?
What happens in Freecloud stays in Freecloud, okay?
Oh, I was just wondering, like, this is nice, bed is soft. I live here now. So it was like, please let Rocky get some rest. So are you rested? Because you're not sounding like Rumdar.
I am pretty rested, yes.
Good. Oh, thank God. All right. So did I leave anybody out? No, I did not. I think I hit everybody. However, I did not say this. Starfleet Underground is brought to you by Section 31 and our Patreon users. And thank you for those of you that subscribe, listen, and support the show.
Okay, what alien just possessed your body?
What? What happened?
Why were you using that funky voice?
What voice?
Oh, I thought he sounded good.
Yeah, but you don't normally use that voice, so you're high or something.
No.
Oh.
What I am going to do, though, is ask you for corrections because you dared interrupt.
Oh.
I can interrupt because I'm your number one. I'm supposed to interrupt.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so any corrections?
Let me check subspace. Dun, 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 dun. And no, we are clear.
Once again, we are flawless. So we get rid of the corrections. I guess it's time for what some people tell me is one of their favorite parts, other than our bickering back and forth, is the news. So the first news section is brought to you by my amazing science officer.
Aw, thank you. Hi, Captain. So this week's news is the National Academy of Television Arts and Science will honor LeVar Burton with a Lifetime Achievement Award at this year's first annual Children's and Family Emmy Awards, which will be held in December 2022 for his work with Reading Rainbow.
Well deserved. That is really outstanding.
Yay! And you can find the link in the show notes below.
Outstanding. Number one, what do you got?
Well, let's take a look here. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, you can see the opening credits of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It's online now and gives you the whole opening credits, which it's a bit of a throwback. So if you're fans of TOS, then you will enjoy it. Also, Star Trek Picard Season 2 soundtrack arrives this week. It's a 31-track collection of the music from Season 2. Woot woot!
That's pretty cool. Some of the music on that is really engaging.
Oh, and you get a rendition of Alison Pill doing Shadows of the Night by Pat Benatar on it, too.
Oh, okay, sold.
I take it you're going to be in your bunk.
Ew.
You know me too well.
Ew.
Speaking of that.
Gross.
No, Patrick, I said bunk, not spunk. So calm down.
Oh, my.
Gross.
Come down, you said?
See, you got him rhymed up. Okay, Chief, what's your news?
Well, I was in Freecloud, and so was LeVar Burton. LeVar Burton's been busy this week, and he received the Inaugural Insight Award from the Library of American Broadcasting Foundation at the 2022 NAB show. And that was in Las Vegas, not Freecloud, but, same thing. It was very cool, and he was actually in the same city as I was at the same time. I unfortunately wasn't able to get to the actual event, but it happened on Monday the 25th.
Wait, you breathed the same air he was breathing?
Yeah, well, that's Vegas air, so,
And that's Monday, April the 25th, 2022?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
He called broadcasting the most powerful tool ever invented for achieving cultural, societal change. And he urged everyone that representation matters, y'all.
Yeah, it does.
So that was pretty cool. We'll link to an article about that in the show notes as well.
Woohoo! All right, my news is that you've seen him almost on every sci-fi show, but not really.
I was going to say LeVar Burton again? He's been really busy lately.
Jeffrey Combs?
Well, close. He is very proficient and out there. However, you see his work all the time and don't even realize it. And that's a friend of the show. Well, not really the show, but
Dougie Jones.
No, but Dougie Jones is amazing. However, I'm sure he knows this person very well. There's a book coming out on Star Trek, The Art of Neville Page.
My hubby.
So for those of you that don't realize it, if you've been looking at his work for damn near 2 decades, he's been designing creatures for Star Trek universe as early as 2009, right up to doing work on Picard. So in September, for those of you who are book collectors, we'll feature his art from Star Trek. So he's gotten wins for doing prosthetics and for Picard, and it's just all kinds of things, as well as a little page thing called Inside the Mind of a Visionary Designer. It's going to showcase his career, and that's coming out by Titan Books. So his art, if you see the stuff, to see the sketches and everything, to go through his creative process, and if you're in the field, this book would be amazing inspiration, as well as to see his thought progression on it.
Yeah, you can pre-order it on Amazon. It'll be out on September 27th.
That is correct. So make sure you go out there and get it. I mean, the cover art looks amazing. Here, let me show you oh, wait.
It's an audio podcast, sir.
That's right. These guys don't have the holo thing.
We'll put a show note in there.
It looks like a Klingon crossed with the robot from Lost in Space.
This
is what happens when you do the Rorschach test. Is that what it is? So they show you an image and
Yeah.
you tell me what you see. Is it a woman? No.
Yeah.
Holding a briefcase? No. Oh, okay.
I saw the test that you had last time. Every image they hand up, they ask you, so what is this, Chief? And you're like, boobs. All right. How about this one? Bigger boobs.
Which is funny because I'm more of an ass guy. But
Smaller
anyway.
boobs. That's what I thought was funny. I didn't get it, but that's okay.
Neither did I.
Oh my God, that was so bad. All right. We hit the news. Did I forget anything? The person you're listening to did not forget a single item. So we're going to proceed with the show, starting with a recap. Thank you.
Okay, recap. Star Trek Picard, Season 4, Episode 9, Hide and Seek. Teaser. It's raining, it's pouring, you're gonna be a Borging. Oh, I'm sorry. In the middle of a thunderstorm, Rios tries to purge the Borg lockout, but it's too late. They start beaming in. He tries to get Teresa and Ricardo off the ship as Agnes, quote unquote, the Borg Queen, beams in for a change of clothes. Talin, Picard, Seven, and Raffi transport into the courtyard of Chateau Picard. Talin hands them weapons, all except Raffi, much to her chagrin. Rios arrives and tells them they have no more time. The Queen's on La Sirena with the assimilated mercenaries.
The beginning part of this, you had a chance to kind of feel the excitement as they started coming in, because it was pretty bizarre. They're there on the ship, and all of a sudden it's like, we're going to fix the... Wait, you get all of these guys that somehow Borgified their weapons also, which I don't get, but...
Well, they just have green laser beams. You know, they always have laser beams attached to their machine guns, but they never make them green. So when you get Borgified, that becomes green.
Because they were regular bullets.
Yeah, they changed it from red to green.
Yeah, so I guess it's a color scheme that there's like a union law that if you're Borg, you must be green.
The Borg are very coordinated, even color coordinated.
I mean...
Well, that's what happens when you have a queen running things.
No, that's true. She loves being
Girl.
green.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, number 1, did you say season 4 or did you say season 2? I thought I heard season 4.
Season 2 of Picard.
It was season 2. Okay, cool. I just wanted to double check that.
No, you know.
Don't call me a queen.
It's like that.
You're
old
not?
song.
I'm a princess. My mother's still alive.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, princess.
Semantics, my goodness. I thought it was funny that Rios is like, oh shit, I'm sorry I brought you guys here. You're in real danger now. We got to get the fuck out of here. Let me grab a weapon really quick. And then there's the Borg Queen, right? It's like, okay, he was just about to grab a phaser. Time to go. Run away. It was all reaction time for Rios now.
Well, it's like, he didn't even stop to think, hello, I'm bringing them onto a spaceship.
Yeah.
You know?
He was thinking with the wrong head. That's
the first
what it was.
thing he should have done, aside from trying to figure out how to turn off the transporter lockout, was arm himself to the teeth. Once you get back on board your ship, they're going to come for it. Might as well put a couple phasers on while you're waiting.
Well,
yeah, that was not a good. He knows that he was heading to the ship and he knows it was Borg. But like I said, he didn't logic it all the way through. So...
And I love the part where the Borg Queen, as soon as she gets home, she ditches the dress, she ditches the bra, and then she puts on something more comfortable. It's like, girl, I completely feel you on that one. Fuck the dress, fuck the bra. Let's get into something comfortable.
I heard Chief in the thing when that happened. He was screaming at the TV, "Turn around! What the fuck? You turn around! Turn around!"
I was bitching about the editing. I'm like, you guys missed the whole scene there of her kicking off the shoes and dropping the dress. What the hell? I cut it for time.
He's like, "Damn it! There's even no reflection. What the fuck?" So yeah. That was kind of funny. But yep, she put on the latex and she was ready for business.
Yep.
So
that was always better for fighting.
Yeah, again, it was. But then Chief got happy because when she walked away, I heard her, "Oh, I can see your ass now." So.
Well, she had one. So
yeah, see, told you.
Might as well shake it a little.
See, told you. But it was definitely interesting. But then you have Talin. She used her, I guess, her
portable
Amazon delivery transporter. So, but she couldn't get it in the ship. I don't know why she didn't go in the ship, but it just puts him in the courtyard of the house.
Well, it's, you don't want to beam into something you don't know what to expect.
Well, that's true.
It's kind of smarter to beam in from the outside and go in.
Spoilers.
Wait, that's not the teaser?
That's next section.
Erase everything I just said.
Erase beaming into the courtyard of Chateau was the
Yeah, I'm talking about the courtyard. They didn't get into the ship yet.
Oh, so I did talk about, so they're talking about you.
I was talking about later on in the episode where I don't know if I should say it because it's next section.
No, don't say
that's
it.
where I thought that.
Don't
wants to get to the next
about.
section, I think.
Yeah, she sounds really
I'm
anxious.
trying to be good.
She says, "I've heard that before in your quarters and you swore nobody was in there."
Oh.
Ew.
Changing the subject, when the SWAT team entered the home, the first thing in my mind was like, oh shit, it never ends well when a SWAT team is entering a home. Like the SWAT team is so freaking horrible at their job and they always screw up and make mistakes. It's like, oh, this is not going to end well.
No, they're great at going into businesses, but homes, their track record is not so good.
No.
I guess we can get ready to go to the next section. But wait, in this section, Talin did show up in a teaser, right?
Yeah.
And she
beamed into the courtyard. Hello.
They're handing out weapons. And
oh, that's right.
And you said Raffi didn't get one?
That's right. Yeah.
Raffi's like, what? Nothing for what? Am I supposed to use harsh language?
Oh, yeah, that was funny. That reminded me of Aliens.
What are we supposed to do, man? Use harsh language?
Yeah,
fucking game over, man.
Game over.
They had a nice pick.
Yeah, that'll work.
That's not till later.
Oh,
you're jumping sections.
Next section.
Man, you're really athletic this show there, Heather. You're just leaping and jumping and evading on everything.
The dots have been teaching me acrobats.
Oh, that explained, but it's a lot easier when you have anti-grav.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, let's go to the next session. Number 1.
Okay. Act 1. Fractal encryption, trash dumps, combat hollows, and slipping and sliding in and out of reality. The crew take cover, but Picard realizes the Queen is trying to pin them down so she can take the ship, which she's just about to do, and suddenly her hand is frozen midair. Jurati to the rescue. She locks the ship's computer with a fractal encryption code. The Queen says she'll scrape the key out of her mind. Jurati replies that she's been poking around on the Queen's trash dump of a mind, wondering why the need to assimilate millions of species in countless planets and always needing more. Perfection takes time, the Queen says. Bullshit. It wasn't about perfection or evolution or any of that crap, but rather Jurati and the Queen are the same. Lonely. Sad. The combat hologram of Elnor appears, which is the key to unlocking the fractal encryption, and he plays keep away while kicking ass. The Borg army starts to attack the crew at the Chateau. One throws flashbang, and it sends Picard into a cascade of memories of his mother Yvette, who suggests they play hide and seek as his father is a curmudgeon. As Picard comes back to reality, Rios is hit in the shoulder by a bullet. They take cover inside the house. Picard has Talin beam Rios, Teresa, and Ricardo to safety and prevent Rios from coming back. As they split up and circle around the Borg army, the firing stops, and Picard hears Soong's voice. Soong suggests they surrender or face far worse in kind. Picard recalls the game of hide and seek with his mother and tells Soong that you'd have to find us first, and they retreat into the Chateau. As Seven and Raffi make their way through the house, they are attacked, and it takes both of them to kill the drone. Picard figures that the house is surrounded and suggests they go into the tunnels underneath the house. Only he can remember how to get there. The bookcase.
Well, that's the
Put the
thing.
candle back. Oh, wrong movie.
Yeah.
I want a bookcase like that.
It's a cool bookcase.
Yeah, it is. And it would be nice to have a house with all kinds of secret passages and you can scare the shit out of any guests that stay too long.
Nathan.
But he's in there. And again, this is the part that starts to annoy me a little bit. You're in a combat situation and then you pause and nobody can run up to you while you're pausing because that's just not right. So it's just like, dude,
there are rules of engagement. Come on.
But he's pausing and this is the first time and it's going to be apparent on the next one. So I'm not going to go into spoilers because we haven't gotten there yet. That this is the first time I actually felt Patrick Stewart's or Picard's age. He just didn't seem to move he didn't seem to move with purpose, or he was always like half thinking. And it's like, Grandpa, where you put your
I remember
your
back in the day where I wandered through the tunnels of my house. My father was a curmudgeon.
Yeah.
And Picard, the Borg coming right here.
Yeah.
We gotta run.
So he can't help the flashbacks he's having.
I know, but still just the same. It just kind of made me see his age more. It's like, Grandpa, where'd you put your oatmeal? It's on the table. No, it's not. But I swear I left it on the table. Grandpa, Sonny found it in the bathroom. On the hamper. What? What is it doing here? I remember when I was 4 years old when I had oatmeal in the bathroom. It's like, so I understand they wanted to tell a backstory, but every time they did that, it just made me feel that Picard was old.
It's very, it's disconcerting because the cuts are like making it happen right within the reality of what you're watching, but it's happening within his head inside a fraction of a second. But you're right, there's a distraction going on there, and you're wondering, does this help in the current situation? And you're right, it probably doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, it did help. It did help because he remembers the tunnels.
Well, he remembers the tunnels and he remembers a secret room, but he also, if you see it, he barely got away. There was a second, like a little last second, where he ducked right down. If he had hair, he would have had it parted right down the middle because they almost got a shot off that hit him right in the headshot,
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, how do you think he got bald in the first place?
Maybe.
He didn't duck down in time.
Well, Nathan brings up a good point, his age. The actor is 84 years old, and that is one of the reasons why Picard only has 3 seasons, because when they were making the show, they were trying to decide how many seasons do we want this to go on for. And, Patrick Stewart, he's like, I'm old. I don't want this to go on for very long.
Well, plus it was an homage to the original series, being only 3 seasons.
Yeah, so it was 3 seasons.
It really just, like I said, it kind of bothered me a little bit. But again, I really have to give kudos to Pill. Her acting during this was phenomenal. When she
her deadpan face when she's the Borg Queen is like,
I love it.
So
it's
good.
really, really well.
She is such an amazing actress. And was it Patrick? I can't remember who came up with the term Borgatti. So you have Jurati and you have the Borg Queen. So you have Borgatti.
I had them in Patrick because I didn't.
I'm partial with Borgness, but.
Yeah, but it was done really well. And I saw.
Might have been Anna because I don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was just in my own head.
It's possible. And then I follow Alison on her Instagram, and she showed what it takes to do that, even that minimal makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really involved. And I had a chance to zoom in on the picture, and I didn't see it on my viewing screen, but they have circuit patterns on her skin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's very cool detail.
Cool.
Yeah. They have the veins, and then they had the circuit patterns on top of the veins.
Oh, that's
so that was like, and again, you may not pick it up visually when you're watching, but your subconscious kind of does. And it just gave the overall feel of it. And I think she really did, like you said, a really great deadpan of giving the orders and the arguing back and forth in her head.
She was fantastic.
It's like, I'm not going to let you take the ship. I'm not. And then I could tell when Elrond came back, because every single cabin out in the hall, I heard Patrick, I heard you, and I heard the chief all clap and yell. I felt like that State Farm commercial. It's like, no one who made the TV show is actually here. But everyone was clapping. It was really good to see him again. I think that was excellent. And
what better way to come back but as a combat hologram so you can
I know.
Ass.
Oh,
and
yeah.
really kicking serious ass too.
I'm so glad they did that. Did you guys notice the mobile emitter he was wearing? The one that was identical to the one worn by the Doctor on Voyager?
I noticed when he got turned off, but that was definitely in another section.
So he could go outside of the ship. He had that mobile emitter where he could go anywhere he wanted to. And if you guys are listening and you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Voyager, Future's End Part 2, Season 3, Episode 9.
It was done really well. And how he came back and she just, it's like a kid game. I want you to play keep away. It's like, okay.
This episode's all about the kid games. We got hide and seek. We got keep away.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised we don't have.
We got You Can't Touch That.
You can't touch that.
I'm surprised MC Hammer didn't come out.
I mean, and Agnes came in right at the right time. She's like, you are not going to kill my friend. I'm sorry. You may have had control of my body, but I'm putting my foot down. Or up your ass. Either way, we're stopping this.
I love that they that the Borg Queen zinged her back because Jurati's like, hands around my friend's throat. That wasn't fucking cool, man. And Borg Queen's like, oh yeah, being left hanging in the middle of the room with nobody to talk to. That's fucking not cool either. So it was like touche.
Borgatti was experiencing an epic case of self-sabotage.
That was really wild. And she's like, what the fuck is this on my arm? Is this tears?
Why am I crying? Oh my God.
That's not this section.
It isn't? Okay, then just take what I said and just remember it in the next section, because I don't know if I'll remember. But then you had Rios. It's like, is it this point where he's been hurt?
Yeah, he's the one that, of all the people who get shot, it's that guy we started the show with a giant piece of shrapnel on his shoulder. Yeah, so he gets shot here.
He gets shot and
he's like, oh, what, that tickled.
I'm going to make you guys safe. And at first, I didn't realize what she said because I'm like, are they in some part of the hollow deck? And then it's like, oh, that's right. It's her place. And that little kid does what little kids do. You can have all kinds of shit going on and they're just going to, when it's time to fall asleep, when they're tired, they're going to go out. So, but now they're in her room.
But it was kind of messed up of Picard to lock Rios out of coming back. I mean, I understand that, he was hurt. He probably couldn't have fought as well, but still.
I agree with Picard because he wants Rios to survive. And I'm all for that because Rios is a character that should be surviving. And you're right. Or he's right. If he was beamed back and wanted to take part of the fight, he's already injured. He's willing to do whatever it takes to help them succeed. And that's even sacrifice his own life. Rios would get down like that.
Not to mention if they all lose and die, let's just say, if, per chance they all die, Rios is left in the past alive and he sort of has to live out his life in the future unless, But that fucks up the timeline. Isn't the whole point to not screw up the timeline and then they're screwing up the timeline?
This whole episode fucks up the timeline.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
It's all timeline's all hosed now because if they lose, the Borg win, which means they all get assimilated in the first place. So
and plus all the soldiers that she assimilated all died, so that sort of fucks up the timeline too.
Yeah, the timeline has been fucked raw and left out in the sun. It's done. Yeah. It's no longer, because all the stuff like you said has happened. Rios has talked too damn much. You have all of the, like you said, really Heather, all of the soldiers have been shot and killed.
Yeah, that's a lot of soldiers you just took out. Were they dispensable?
Yeah.
What about their butterflies?
Thank you. Well, and they're lying all the way through. They're going to get back to the future, and it goes, wait a minute, what happened to Worf? What, Worf? What do you mean? Worf is gone. Well, then you find out that one of the security officers was really going to marry one of the Kachinkos, and
my God.
The whole thing. Yeah, the repercussions.
It could be really bad. Yeah,
yeah. You don't know. Chance meetings is just bizarre. Yeah. You would never know.
I depreciated though getting the actors.
Appreciated or depreciated?
I appreciated.
Well,
I probably depreciated my value personally, but watching the scene between Picard and Soong, where they get the chance to battle verbally, shouting across the battlefield. I was just like, this is like really fun acting to watch them like be arguing over legacy, and you're just like, oh, you're just a bunch of rot, and all these vicious words back at each other, but they're so civilized.
Brent, the look on Brent's face, I mean, it's like, you're like, oh, that's not Data.
It's definitely not Data.
It looks like Data, but that's not anything we've ever seen come out of Data. So.
And the line he threw, was like, oh, I bet another time we could actually be friends, Picard. And Picard's like, please.
Yeah, but that was, again, you can tell that Brent really put his heart into this role. He enjoyed and being somebody who wasn't Data. He really let his freak flag fly. But as Picard, think about this. If you had somebody like, for instance, that looked exactly like, let's say you, Rocky, and you came over and you like stomped on my steak, slapped me, peed in my bed, shit in the middle of the floor, it'd be hard to look at you, the original you, the same way, knowing.
Wait a minute, why? How's that any different from what he does anyway?
Is this before or after I came back from Freecloud?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, if you had the Rumdar hat, I could probably forgive you because then I know.
I mean, didn't he have to pay for that extra cleanup in his hotel room when we were in Chicago?
Oh. They call that what do they call that? A service fee?
Oh,
yeah,
my.
because we saw a whole bunch of maids walking out talking about how they were serviced.
Oh my.
So that was pretty good. But yeah, it's going to be difficult, I think, for Picard to look at Data in a similar fashion after seeing. Well, then again, maybe he would because
Data died.
Yeah, Data's not around anymore, man.
Oh, that's true.
Data's in part only in his head. He's remembered.
And plus, Data was clean shaven.
Data was before.
Oh, I saw what you did that.
Oh, that's funny.
No, that's a grown one right there. That's really bad.
Before.
That's in the story's lore.
But if you stop,
that's good.
Really?
That's really funny.
Oh my God.
That's Star Trek lore. That's that was before all of this.
Somebody took their witty pill
It's
this
too
morning.
soon. It's too soon.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
Still went off.
We are more.
I really enjoyed playing hide and seek with laser beams. I thought that was visually very cool and very impractical if you're trying to find somebody and you have a laser sticking out everywhere you're pointing.
I mean, I'm used to playing hide and seek with a sausage, not lasers.
Whoa.
Okay, but this is what gets me. If you're playing hide and seek, regardless with the sausage or not, if you're trying to sneak up on somebody, you can't fucking sneak up on somebody if you got a fucking laser pointer sweeping the area.
Right?
You could tell they're coming because of the laser pointer.
It was a setup, though. It was two of them had a laser. The third guy came in with a knife, which did not have a laser beam attached to it.
Yeah, and that's why he surprised them.
So that's the one. But unfortunately, he met his demise after a really cool little fight scene. He got the Walking Dead kill, knife through the face kind of thing. But we didn't get a close-up of the eye, right there. I'm surprised Star Trek didn't give us that eye close-up because they're always obsessed with these eye shots.
Yeah, I guess that person wasn't on that day. But again, if you're in combat and you're fighting with a knife in somebody's ear, I just don't get it because the first thing that I would do if I surprised the person and I'm fighting, I would start, he's here, over here. But he's just like, I'm going to beat you quietly because, I'm a badass.
If he figures he's going to go up against Raffi and Seven, he's going to be making some noise. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's going to get his ass kicked. That's two badass bitches.
Yeah. The sounds of the fist slapping will attract everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not going to go there. But yeah.
You don't want to get Borg slapped by Seven.
No, but
Or bitch slapped by Raffi.
Yeah, they're all over the place and you have them. Wait, what? No, put that back. When I said oatmeal, it was a joke. I don't want oatmeal.
I'll take their oatmeals. Have them send it to my quarters.
Yes, take it to Chief.
I like oatmeal.
Take it to Chief. Thank you. Oh man, these dots listen when they want to listen. I swear. Okay, yeah, but it was a fun little fight. And again, Picard gets the old man pause.
Well, he has to remember playing hide and seek with his mom. I mean, it takes time, right? To think about hide and seek.
I'm actually liking all the flashbacks. So, I mean, we get to know this part of Picard that we've never known before. Like
we get to know his mother a little bit. I thought it was very sweet they play hide and seek. At the same time, there's something horrible happening with his mother. But he's having fun at least.
And his dad's a dick.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, we already know that.
To be but was he really? He didn't really seem to be that big of a monster.
No, he just said he realized that he was taking his mom away. So, of course, a boy's love of his life for most boys is his mom. So you take my mom away, I'm not going to like you. You're a monster for doing that.
Also, too, what happened at the end of this episode with his mother, I'm sure that made his father look at his son differently for the rest of his life because you are the reason why this happened.
Yeah, no doubt. But however, talking to you, Chief, made me realize that it wasn't so much the cut scenes, it's how they did it. And I think that's what annoys me the most. You're right, number one. It was nice to see how Picard's intellect and his personality got forged in the beginning. You see something we never saw about his mother, about his father, and his upbringing. And he almost had, I think, a personality schism where that happened so impactful, it locked it away in his mind. Then he didn't even remember it or wanted to remember it. And he could have instantly became Sybil.
I think the only reason why he's remembering it now is because he is a toaster, a Cylon. So he's accessing the memories differently. Whereas if it was Picard as a human form, he might still have amnesia.
He's getting a perfect recall.
Talin mind fucked him, so, I mean.
Interesting choice of words, sir.
The one
she
thing
stuck
we're
it
missing,
in, and she rattled it around a little bit.
She got all up inside him.
we had 7, we had Boltar, we're just missing 6.
Oh, if 6 were on this, I would just be dying. I would.
Yeah, I would just fall out.
My panties would be wet.
For those of you that have not seen Battlestar Galactica, they had a version of 7 on the show called 6, who was also extremely attractive and would send Chief into a chair spin.
And she was God's wife on Lucifer.
Yes, right. Yeah. Very attractive as well.
Should we hop on to the next section?
I just have to, before we hop on, the last shot of this act was the shot of the chateau in like horror movie blue, nighttime with the thundering and lightning. It was fucking cool. Very, and completely opposite the most beautiful place we saw it in season 1. This was the gorgeous chateau. Everybody wanted to go visit and hang out and help, make wine with Picard. No, this was a place of doom and danger.
Yeah, it's a character in the scene.
Yeah, very much so.
When you said that, I thought of a Bohemian Rhapsody. Thunder and lightning, it's very, very frightening.
Me, Galileo.
Here we
go.
Next scene.
Okay.
And next section, let's go.
Very, very dangerous.
We are not a singing podcast.
Act 2. Starfleet rejects a Fenris Ranger. You've got the whole ER in your hands. Oh, wait, sorry. Dying stars.
Nice.
Talin recognizes the tunnel from Picard's memories. Picard tells her about World War II, the hidden munitions, and the Nazis, and that there's a hatch on it, the other side of the vineyard, that the tunnels will lead them to. Seven binds Raffi's slashed arm from earlier, and Seven takes command. Raffi says she would have made a great captain in Starfleet. Seven tried after Voyager's return from the Delta Quadrant, but Starfleet didn't want her because she was Borg, even though Janeway went to bat from her, so she became a Ranger instead. They make a mad dash across open terrain with an ice pick, a knife, and a corkscrew to defend themselves against the Borg to get to La Sirena. On La Sirena, Elnor finds his blade, Tan Olang. I think that's how you say it, I'm not quite sure, but he smiles when he sees it. At Talon's, Rios is trying to override the computer so he can assist his crew, but Teresa needs to extract the bullet from his shoulder. She marvels that the entire emergency room is in the tricorder and it can fit in your pocket. Soong finds the bookcase entrance to the tunnels. Picard has more memories of his mom, as she tells him it takes billions of years for the light of stars to be seen on Earth. What an exquisite light, she says. As Picard comes back to the present, he remembers his father locking his mother away, and he finds an old Luger pistol and fires at Soong and his mercenaries as they find them.
That's pretty cool. Shows you German engineering. After all those years.
Is that gunpowder still good after all those decades and hundreds of years?
Yeah, it can be. That's why they have to send out munitions to explode old mines and stuff like that.
I was like, wow, that was pretty cool how impressive that was. And he was very accurate with it as well. Yeah. The first shots he got off was like really, really good.
Well, he wasn't in recall mode, so
I forget he's a Cylon.
Yeah. So that really worked well. And again, a phrase came up, 1,000 ways to die in the tunnel. So it's like, good, use them all for the Borgs coming after you.
Right. Yeah, well, exactly. It made sense. It was like, oh, they literally, that's why they didn't want his son running around in there, because they left all their weaponry. Oh my God, I wouldn't like any kid be running around in the basement with all the weaponry. That's not cool.
So that's where they locked up their gun so their son can't find it.
This is before they invented gun locks, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And then on top of it, You saw did you realize that what Picard had stepped in as a little boy and got his foot stuck? You know what that was? What he was on top of?
What was that?
A well.
That's a well. It's a well covering.
Oh.
Oh, God.
And so if he fell down there, he would have kept falling and falling and.
Timmy
Alice
fell
in
down the
Wonderland.
well.
Yes, we'd have to get Lassie to come go rescue
Poor
Timmy.
Timmy's fallen down the well.
Gonna need another Timmy.
What's that, Doc? What's that, Doc? You down the well.
Our ship
Where,
doesn't
boy?
have a well.
Picard's down the
Take
well.
me.
At the mall.
What? In the holodeck? Well, just turn it off. He'll be flailing on the floor.
Picard fell down the well.
Oh my God, that would have been so fun.
There's a
But you
scene in
haven't-
Legally Blonde, the musical, when someone tells Reese Witherspoon's character that she's like, Timmy fell down the well. Oh, the Old Valley Mall.
Okay. Yeah, that there you go.
It just
That's funny.
reminded me. It was like, correlation.
That's good stuff. I was wondering where that came from. It didn't quite connect. Oh, that's good.
So it's basically like a really dangerous maze. And then Soong said, it looks like you followed the mouse. Picard said that to Soong.
Soong was playing the skate to where the puck was going to be game.
Okay.
Although I think that did that happen in this section or the next one?
No.
I think that's the next one.
Yeah.
Okay. But I was like the child-proof locks. This place needed child-proof locks. Well, no, it actually needed mom-proof locks, but that's another story.
And we're almost there to that one. I kind of also liked how they show why Seven is still bitter.
Yeah.
I mean, she did so much to make it through on Voyager. You even had Janeway vouch for her, and you're like, yeah, fuck that. We don't trust her. She's Borg.
That's huge.
There was a lot of weight in that scene, and that was essentially
was.
the Seven and Raffi scene of where Sundance and the kid, Sundance and the whatchamacallit
Butch Cassidy.
kid. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Yeah, it's that scene where and they quote the scene in Beverly Hills Cop in that scene too. They quote that one directly. This is basically Raffi and Seven's scene. They're about to come out and go all up against the Borg army, and they know they're not going to make it out of this. And I thought it was really eerie that they said, we're not getting out of this.
And if you guys want to know the quote, well, two things. Yeah, it is eerie that they're not getting out of it because it's sort of like they're going on a suicide mission, which is sort of freaky. And two, the quote.
Thelma and Louise.
Thelma and Louise, exactly. The quote they said that we were talking about before was, Raffi said, you should have joined Starfleet. And Seven said, I tried. After Voyager, Starfleet shut me down because Raffi said, because you're a Borg. And then Seven replied, Janeway went to bat for me, threatened to resign. I gave it up and went full Ranger.
Yeah, and the whole situation, that's hard. And she knew Janeway would have resigned.
That's why she gave up. Because she knew it was better for Janeway to not resign and be in Starfleet. I mean, Starfleet's better with Janeway.
It is. And then they had their own Blues Brothers moment. It's like, we got a full tank of gas, a half a pack of cigarettes.
I got a knife, a corkscrew, and an ice pick. Hit it.
Yes, I got a knife, a corkscrew, and an ice pick. Let's go for it. And they ran out there with sheer gustos, like the battle, like the charge of the Light Brigade.
I mean, and do you think those Borg mercenaries actually stood a chance against Seven and Raffi? No, I don't.
No, but they probably figured, like, these bitches be crazy.
if they were not themselves, that's what they would be thinking. These bitches be crazy. Yeah. But they're Borg, so they Borgified.
What the hell? It's like, she is not running at me with an ice pick and I get a full automatic weapon.
Well, if they keep running fast enough, they won't have time to reload.
Well, they were doing that.
I just imagine they would crouch down and like hide behind stuff and then like do a sneak attack type of thing, like rogue, go rogue like.
One of the things that they teach you in advanced combat in the Marines is if you have a ghillie suit is a suit you put on to make you look like a bush. What you do is that you got to be patient.
Make you look like Bush?
And, like, not your type of Bush. And you have to.
I mean, why would you want to look like George Bush?
The president? You're talking about senior or junior?
No, well, junior, because he is a stomach to roll on.
I mean, junior is just Bush anyway.
This is true. So what you do is you basically lay on the ground and you don't move until the wind moves, until the light moves, because humans, being predator animals, your eyes snap to motion, much like the T-Rex, they tell you, right? So if you're laying there and look like a bush and you don't move, people won't see you. But if the wind blows or something like that, you try to move with it. So it can take you literally hours just to go 15 yards in order to get to your target. So they could have done that, but sunlight,
Yeah, the sun will come up eventually, and
Yeah.
everyone will be seeing everything. They were moving in the shadows, I think. They keep it out of the sight. If they move quietly enough, they're not going to be heard. I don't think they did a full-on frontal assault. I think they snuck their way back into the ship.
Yeah, they were angling kind of quick, and you saw the lasers.
Frontal assault of Bush.
Yeah, they were going through. Well, apparently Seven and Raffi are both good at getting Bush. So
Let's talk about Elnor. Elnor was playing his own hide and seek aboard the ship, and he found the armory and
He found it.
that sword.
that was so cool.
He was like, "Hello."
I think it's pronounced Tan Kalong. But I'm not
It doesn't
100%
matter how
on
you
that.
pronounce it. If you it slices and dices and cuts right through your ass.
But it was kind of neat to see him kind of like, oh, there's a pistol. No, that's not good enough. Oh, there's a rifle. Oh, that's not good enough. Oh my God, I get a chubby. It's the sword.
My baby.
This is what I want. And he goes through and he starts ginsuing all those guys. I think that was pretty damn cool. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then back in Talin's apartment, Teresa is just like anybody would be to have future tech. It's like I got a whole ER in my palm of my hand. How cool
That's
is
pretty
that?
amazing. I mean, the technology is getting better every day. It's amazing what they can do. I mean, if you have if you have the unfortunate chance to see the ER guys come out in their ambulance and save somebody, it's amazing what they just walk out with a little suitcase and pop it open, and they got all the gizmos right there. They pull them into the ambulance. The ambulance has got a bunch of technology too, so you're getting treated while you're getting driven away. It is very cool the tech they have now, but still, a medical tricorder in the arms of a modern day doctor is amazing.
Oh my God.
Like you don't have to
What
send
could they
somebody to
do?
go to the big MRI machine or the big X-ray machine to come over and, it's just like the size of your iPhone and you can see the bullet right there. That's so cool.
So Teresa had a ER-gasm and then Elnor had a swordgasm.
Yeah, so there was a lot of gasms on this section.
Lots of gasms.
Yeah, but even the new defibrillators that they have now will tell you when you shock. It'll put you down and it will tell you, so arrhythmia thing detected, administering shock.
Yeah, it'll shock you back in sync. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll
Automatically.
that's how quickly. Yeah, they have bio beds now. When I was in 84, they had hypo sprays when I was in the military. That's how I got my shots. I heard they don't use them anymore for some reason. What the hell?
What was that?
Dots
was a
crash
cool
into
sound
the hall
effect.
again?
I don't know what that was, but it sounded like the dots are moving around in the cargo bay.
It was a
The
truck.
dots are
It was a truck going in the alley behind my apartment.
It was a very big dot.
That's what
Well,
we'll
fuck
call
that.
it. It
Let's
was
keep
one of
the dot
dots.
story.
Yeah.
My microphone is very
so-
sensitive.
Now, when you sing a song and he's looking for the halls, this is what I don't like about secret areas. They leave marks on the floor when they're dusted.
You know what? If they had a regular cleaning crew in this house, there would be not a scent of dust, not a little dust prick of dust. That'd be completely clean floor. Soong would have no fucking clue whatsoever. But he saw the dust on the floor.
Thank you.
And there you go.
But it wasn't just the dust. There was skid marks, too. There was actual skid
It was
marks.
the fleur-de-lis on the bookcase.
That is right. And if you're going to go through a secret room, lock the fucking back
Yeah.
so it goes back in the right direction so you don't see what it is.
Right. They should have stuck a pipe in that sucker or something.
See, but again, he was too busy reminiscing.
Yeah.
So he would have thought of that.
And then they go down into the maze. And there's one quote real quick between Picard and Soong where they said, despite all of my rage. And I couldn't help
I
but
am
blurt
still
out,
just a rat in the
Yes!
cage.
yes, I started singing that song. So funny.
I like the part where Yvette is talking to young Picard and tells him to ignore the coldness of a dying star, referring to herself.
I was really emotionally upset and saddened by this scene because it was such a beautiful thing. You have the amazing immensity of space, the infinite of space. It's so gorgeous and beautiful. And you look at it at the same time, it's so sad because some of the lights you are getting back millions of years ago, they're not there anymore. And it's so sad that the mother decided that's her. I was just heartbroken by that.
I think she was definitely bipolar or suffering from major depressive
Well, they didn't
episodes.
even have that kind of technology back. I mean, well,
This is Yeah, this is Picard. There was
only
like
2024.
Yeah.
Well, no, if it was,
No, it's
this
further
is-
than that.
it's a little bit further back. I mean, they're
It's
talking
23
about.
something, right? He was born.
Yeah, but they didn't have the medication. Apparently something was so wrong with her they couldn't fix. They couldn't fix her.
Something they didn't have. It just didn't seem right. She was not getting the treatment that she really needed.
No.
And
Well,
locking
shit.
her in an old room is a.
200 years from now, they better know what the hell, like disorders and therapy and all
Yeah.
that. They better have gone that straightened out 200 years from
That's
now.
what was really sad about this, because they're in the old house and it felt like they're in olden times. But they're right. They're like 200 years in the future.
Yeah.
If the dad. So there are some people, like I was just watching this Law and Order the other night. Where they had this emotionally disturbed son, and the cops were asking him, well, have you ever, gotten him help? And the mother was like, well, his father doesn't believe in that, like it doesn't believe in psychiatry or any kind of. So if Picard's father didn't believe in any kind of,
Wow.
outside help, then maybe that's why his mother didn't get any help that she
Yeah. I
needed.
mean, why didn't they get a therapist in there? That's just like, wow.
And
man.
then the
Yeah.
one thing that I thought was interesting, because sometimes this happens in fatal relationships as well. When you have somebody and she's like, you're my only light, you keep me grounded. And that's where when children, before they become tainted by the world, are so full of joy and hope, and people want that. They want to be surrounded with that. And then took it away. She had nothing but dark thoughts. Her son wasn't there anymore.
Oh, I thought what you were going to say was which now I'm thinking it, the father was abusive and he chose not to get her help, even though help was available. And that's why he put her into the room.
I think that he might have been that way because, like you were saying earlier, he may not have believed in that.
He did
I
still
don't know
admit
if
he was a monster, so maybe.
Yeah.
It's so and the problem with this is it's so far back in Picard's time that we really can't get that far into it. It's more about what it relates to Picard witnessing this happening as growing up.
That's also a possibility. If he was somebody of status, you don't want to be seen in public with a crazy wife, or for people who knows you at events and say, "Oh, that's the guy with the crazy wife." So let's just keep her in the house in the chateau with all this place to run in the glass.
The mental
prison.
health stigma issue is
Again,
really
bad.
big in this.
200 years from now, that had better be taken care of.
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, I have to agree. It has to. But it was definitely interesting. And then again, he opens the door and he finds out that there's a cellar down there. And I give Soong some, he's supposed to be intelligent and he shows it. Find another way. Find where exits are. Go run. And they go down there looking for him, So I thought that was pretty cool in a way. They did a good job. And like Heather said, I really hope in 200 years or so that we really do have a sign for that.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Are we ready to move on to the next section?
Yep.
Yeah. I just wonder how come he didn't grab any ammo from that Luger pistol.
It's probably in another box somewhere.
That's
Take too
true.
long to find it.
Okay. All right. Next.
Act 3, Confessions. Is that Borg wallpaper? Oh, girl fight tonight. On La Sirena, Elnor is kicking ass. Seven and Raffi come on board, and Raffi is shocked to see Elnor. He tells her that he's not exactly Elnor, and she sees the mobile emitter on his arm. He tells them that he is the key to the fractal encryption and gives Seven access to the system's ships as she has a plan. Raffi confesses to Elnor that she feared being alone, and that's why she kept him from going to the academy. He says he knows that Elnor loved her with his dying breath. In the tunnels, Picard and Talin are trying to find their way out as Seven gains control of the transporters and beams the Borg on the ship into the tunnel walls, leaving only the Borg Queen on board, who has a transport inhibitor. Seven, Raffi, and Elnor fight the Queen and pin her down, thinking that they've got her dead to rights. The Queen lashes out with a tentacle, disables the mobile emitter, throws Raffi across the room, and impales Seven. Dun 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 dun!
There's two things for me mentally on this part. One is that he is a program. Destroying the emitter would not destroy the program. So that means it's a possibility we could see Elnor again.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
Well, he's a program. The emitter just allows him to roam around.
Exactly. So the fact that she hit the emitter, just basically there's a chance that program will still exist.
I was surprised that hitting the emitter took him out. I think I just turned him off. Because the whole ship has emitters. The ship was built with, an entire holodeck crew on the ship. I mean, the Picard's quarters was a friggin' hollow version of his home. So how come just one little pop took care of him?
Because she activated him there. I guess it would need to be reactivated again.
Yeah,
so she turned him off, but didn't turn him back on.
She turned him off, but she didn't turn him back on. She just turned him off.
Gotcha.
Can we talk about the Queen's big dick?
The one that popped everyone. Well,
the tentacle attack was something else.
Yes.
yeah, the aim was off because it hit her in the stomach. But
She got a big old penis.
If she has tentacles like that, she's going to have no problem finding a date in Japan because they love their tentacle porn.
Jesus.
Hentai porn.
yeah, but if Agnes,
Big in Japan. Big in Japan.
if Agnes was taking control, I don't understand how come she couldn't stop the Borg Queen from not.
Well,
getting
when you
rid
look at
Seven
7
like
of
that.
9 and you want to get your tentacle out, nothing's going to stop you, man.
Yeah, except for security.
I thought Raffi.
No, I am not signing that.
I thought Raffi was dead on when they were talking about unlocking the systems and like that's giving the queen exactly what she wants. And it turns out that Raffi, I think, was absolutely correct. This is not the path they should have taken because literally it didn't matter. They could go against the Borg Queen and try to take her out, but it wasn't going to happen. And then she'd have access to the ship. They should have not done that. I think they should have done a different method. I thought, maybe they could have, lured the queen out to the middle of the cargo bay and have somebody up on the top ready to snipe her when she's ready to pounce on the other two. There's different techniques I think they could have employed, but they went with this one, which unlocked the systems and inevitability. If you're not going to beat the Borg Queen, she's going to have the ship. So you basically decided the fate right there.
Now, I always have one question. You ever notice that anytime there's an explosion on a ship, they have these enforcement shields that come down to contain the explosion? So obviously those fields are contained to be able to help whole sections of starships being blown out into space and everything else. Why the fuck you don't use it to inhibit intruders? Intruders on Tech 5.
point.
Activate force field. Bing!
Yeah, but, remember
there.
the Borg have modulating, rotating shields. They can get through your
Different technology, different thought processes, probably.
Yeah, that's
Because remember when on TNG when they're fighting the Borg, they have to keep changing the
for the
Rotate your
phasers.
modulate your shield frequencies.
modulating the rifles, the phase
your
rifles.
phasers.
Yeah, because they would adapt to it.
Rotate your modulating frequency. What?
Yeah, then they have to
well,
change the frequencies often.
Yeah, I've heard you, Rocky, tell somebody to rotate, but I'm not sure you were talking about shields.
Sit on my face and breakdance, bitch. Oops.
Hold on. I gotta get with you later on, and we're gonna test that theory out with the dots about intruder shields. I'd like to test.
I
that.
thought you were going to get with number 1 and test that theory
Test the
out.
rotation theory out.
He
No,
does that himself.
no.
I appreciate the way Seven got rid of the Borg when she finally got access to the transporters.
I
Those
know.
guys got stoned.
Really?
Totally stoned.
Stonewalled.
Literally.
Yeah. So that's going to be in the future. That's going to be like a tourist attraction. See the 20th century male trapped in the wall.
That would be
They
some
look
cool
just
horror
like
movie,
us.
like Halloween shit right there. That's a cool tour.
With that,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I said. Borg
goodness.
wallpaper, man.
That was great.
But did you guys get my reference from Girl Fight Tonight?
No, but I liked it. What was your
No.
Girl Fight Tonight reference?
From oh god, what's now I've forgotten her name. The singer's name was Julie, and she did the Homecoming Queen's Got a Gun.
I remember
Okay.
that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, she also did Girl Fight Tonight.
Oh, I never heard that one. I've
Okay,
heard
that's the
everybody
other, the other
run.
track. Okay.
Ooh, can you sing a little for us?
No.
Yeah, Patrick, sing.
Oh, damn.
Thank you.
Sing for us.
I don't remember the melody really.
Okay. Jurati versus Elnor. That was a killer fight sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And I only, because I was able to watch this multiple times and then I saw the behind the scenes of it in the ready room, I really, really started to recognize that was a stunt double he was fighting. And they made a very big point to say he was doing all of his stunts. So that was all him, but he was fighting a stunt double Jurati. That wasn't Jurati. And I felt a little bit gypped on that.
but the fact is that it was supposed to be Giraldi because he technically would have won if it wasn't her. Because remember,
What?
he would have won because he
Are you
paused
high?
to kill her. No, he paused. He could have put the blade in her, but he didn't do it.
Well, because he's trying not to kill Agnes.
That's exactly the point. So he would have won that fight.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think he would have won that fight if he wasn't holding back.
Well,
so to
yeah,
speak.
he was told to play keep away. He wasn't told to assassinate the Borg Queen.
Yeah.
He was told to play keep away. So he was playing keep away. Interesting.
So that's what I kind of figured, but by then the computer's open and she's like, give me control of everything. So it's like, oh damn, what's going to happen now? Was it the dot said, oh no, right. Oh no.
Yeah, it was
no.
everything's going wrong.
Yeah.
It was pretty traumatic.
So I guess we can go to the next section unless anybody's got any goodies in this one they want to talk about still.
No? Okay. And it was Julie Brown is the one who sang Girl Fight Tonight. That was her name, Julie Brown. I was thinking downtown Julie
Which
Brown.
is not the
no,
right Julie Brown.
Right.
That's the MTV Julie Brown.
Yes.
Lubba.
Not that one. The other one.
Wubba is what she said. Okay. Act 4. Any place but the Delta Quadrant. Soong is a dick. Jurati wants a universe of 7. Rios saves the day. Memories of mommy hanging. The Queen takes La Sirena to get a 400-year jump on it, assimilating the universe. I know, groan. The Queen orders the ship to set course for the Delta Quadrant, and Raffi begs for Seven's life. The Jurati Queen replies that she's assimilated millions of languages, and they all have common concepts such as love, hope, and fear, and, lashing out at Raffi's attempt to go for the phaser, futility. Species thrive without love, and she goes on as she picks up Seven's knife. Kingdoms conquer without fear, but it's the imperfect nature of all organic things to fight an unwinnable battle against an unbeatable foe, death. Picard and Talin reach the solarium thinking that they found their way out when Soong opens the door. The Queen raises the knife to kill Seven, but is unable to as Jurati has taken control. Jurati shows the Queen exploding cube, saying this is how Borg history would end. Someone always comes for the Queen's top shelf, overreaching, Icarus-worthy arrogance. Jurati proposes to the Queen, what if they build a collective where the members choose to be assimilated? They would fight harder for what they choose, who would lose no battles because they've made no enemies, and who would not be discarded or replaced. Attachments would grow and deepen, like with Seven, who used her Borg half to serve the best of her humanity. Let's build a universe of Sevens. Picard tries to reason with Soong, warning he does not know the horrific future he was about to create, that they would be feared. Soong orders his mercenaries to kill Picard. Rios has succeeded in fixing Talin's computer. As it's rebooting, Teresa tries to convince him to stay put, but he can't. It's not his timeline. He kisses her and then is transported away, right in front of Picard, and he shoots the 2 mercs. Soong picks up a phaser and points it at Rios, who concedes, but tells Soong that, the phaser needs the right DNA, or boom. Soong throws it in the air, and when the smoke clears, he's gone. On La Sirena, the Queen repairs the damage to Seven's body, but the result is Seven has her implants again. Picard picks up a key that has the strangest memory. He recalls going to let his mother out of the locked room and remembers that she hung herself in the solarium. A memory that he's buried for so long. Talin tells him love is a gift, but it can also be a source of great grief and pain. He loved his mother desperately, he recalls. Seven is a little shaken to be Borg again, but then she's been Borg longer than she was Anika, and how nice it was to be ordinary, to which Raffi replies that she's the most extraordinary person she knows. Extraordinary? Extraordinary, not extraordinary. The Queen tells them it's time to keep their part of the bargain. La Sirena for Seven's life. It's a fair exchange after all. Her message for Picard is that the future will not have a need for a Borg Slayer, at least not from her, them, and that there must be 2 Renees, one who lives and the other who dies, and so the Europa mission must not be postponed. She beams them off the ship. They watch the Queen take off. Picard reminds them that they have to complete their mission as Seven tells him of the Queen's message. He refuses to accept an outcome that has not yet occurred.
Okay, first, one of the things that I thought was most telling in this scene was why Picard couldn't really keep a relationship. He lost somebody that he loved deeply, which was his mother, and it blocked him. He blocked that memory so hard that I think deep down inside, he never wanted to be able to let another person in that close again like he had loved his mother.
That's a good point.
That's where he sabotaged
himself. Yeah, but he's just hanging himself on that nail.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Plus, going into a little therapy here, since we're talking about therapy, if he had a dick father and a mother who was sort of, psychotic in some way, that dude has attachment issues like that. Yep. He's not going to have a secure attachment style. So he's going to have issues with relationships.
And that's what probably kept him the whole time. He fucked it up with Beverly. He fucked it up with the archaeologist and also with the Romulan. He just can't do it.
Hilarious.
It's self-sabotage.
I agree.
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
All of a sudden, the Beastie Boys are in my brain.
But you saw what Jurati stops the Queen from killing Seven. But it looks like they put the exact same stuff that she had before. She's basically Seven again, so it's going to be really interesting.
The look of disappointment on Seven's face when she realizes she's Borg again almost broke my heart.
she said it came at a cost, and I'm worried that the cost is more than just Borgification. I'm wondering what's happening in the future.
Well, if they do not get the Queen back, we will never have a 7 of 9. And we will never have had a Locutus. Because if Jurati and the Queen are going to assimilate people who only want to be assimilated, who need the help.
No, that obviously doesn't happen, though.
Remember, like where they're at right now, there is already Borg out there. Like there's already a Borg Queen that's going to take 7 and is going to do all that stuff. So now there's 2 Borgs. Now you have 2 Borg Queens.
Is there only one Borg Queen? I wonder if the collective is so large it requires multiple queens.
Kind of like an ant colony.
Question.
Yeah. And the other thing I was curious about that I think is kind of solved unless something crazy happens in the next episode, which may very well happen. I was wondering, how does the Borg Jurati get to the future to warn Picard in the beginning of the
Borgatti. It's the Borgatti.
She takes the long way around the time travel.
Take the long way home.
So that's why she has the mask on, and everyone's like wondering why the Borg Queen has this mask on. It's because, spoilers, it would be Jurati, and she couldn't show her face in front of regular Jurati.
Oh, right, because then that would cause a time problem.
So it's already a time problem, but she took the long way back to the future because she stole the ship and ran away. I'm wondering, is she going to come back at the last second and help for something in the next episode, or is that the last time we see her? Is she off on that journey to try to collectively Borgify the world in a polite way?
I think she'll be back in season 3.
Well, it's going to be also interesting because if you think about it, 7 got assimilated when she was a little girl and it was against her will. So if this kinder, gentler Borg that only assimilates people who want to be a part of the collective means 7 wouldn't have been absorbed.
But there's 2 queens right now. You have the Borgatti, the Jurati Borg Queen, and then you have the Borg Queen that assimilated 7. So does that Borg Queen
the original
assimilate
Borg
7?
Queen.
Right, the original one. She's still out there. Like that didn't change unless Borgatti goes and like kills her or something. Like she's still out there.
Well, the Borg Queen that appears on the bridge just before the explosion, she's just coming from the Labyrinth Ball, and that's why she's all messed up.
I got that.
She reminds me of the babe.
What babe?
The babe with the power.
What power?
Power voodoo.
Voodoo?
You do.
Do what?
Get the power of the babe.
Remind me of the babe.
So yeah, it could wind up being that. We don't know. That's what the next season is going to be interesting because you have all of the next TNG are supposed to be on there. So is it going to be like Supertramp? They're going to take the long way home also?
I just sang that, you moron.
That's why I said it again. So there.
Wait, you sang that?
No, he worded it, so he didn't sing it.
Take the long way home.
Please don't start singing Enterprise. That's such torture.
Oh, the long road home. That's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would probably be kind of cool at the end of season 3. Picard's back to his timeline. He looks around him and he sees all his friends and goes, "It's been a long road."
Okay. Gotta stop you right there, sir.
Oh, okay. Sorry. But again, Picard tries to talk to Soong and it shows of what an egomaniac he is. You're going to create a future, but it's going to be horrific. He's like, "I'm worshipped. I don't care." It's like,
feared, loved, whatever. It's all the same thing.
It's like, I'm good.
Oh, feared is even better. I'm feared? That's great. Awesome.
But you realize he's got to have a son somewhere along the line.
Oh, yeah.
Because there has to be future because right now he just like made little girls. There was no boys. There's no nothing. So
I'm sure the incel is very excited that he's going to finally get laid.
Yeah, that's what he's really wants to be about. Mm-hmm. And then you get Rios who finally figures out how to get through Talin's computer in order to get back. I'm really thinking that he's going to stay behind. I just can't see him leaving her.
I don't know. I think he's the kind of guy that loves him and leaves him. I think he's going to go back to the future.
Oh, you don't think he might bring him with him?
Nah.
Or bring him to the future?
I think that's what I was thinking he would do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's a possibility. He may bring him, damn the timeline, or else, he'll leave, she'll be preggers, and then find out that his son or daughter is like this captive industry in the future and create it like Super Twitter or something. Who knows?
Your Crusher's ancestor? Now there's no Crusher? There's no Wesley? No.
Super twatter.
And that could be in Wesley's, since he's a traveler, he's got to go back and fix it.
Oh my God. You guys are hurting my brain so hard right now. It was so hard to watch this episode where Picard's memory is playing out horrible moments backwards in his head to make him feel better. because when you play it in reverse, everything becomes better. It reminded me of a George Carlin joke about when you age backwards, you end up going out in a big orgasm. I thought that was a beautiful joke that he had.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. I think Benjamin Button would disagree with that.
Well, he didn't age backwards, did he?
He aged Benjamin Button.
Yeah, is it backward? It's been a while since I've seen the Button.
Yeah, he started as an old man and he progressively get younger.
Yeah, okay, yeah, similar thing, yeah.
Yeah, but I like how this murder attempt on Seven was finally brought. What would you call it, Heather? You said the nickname for the Borg Queen?
Oh, Borgatti.
Yeah, it was shocked Borgatti into perfect balance.
Yeah.
So now they're friends. And so you could see in her head, they're holding hands and aggressive. It's just you and me and C. So I think we're happy together.
You and me and you, so happy together.
We're not lonely anymore. We found each other.
Now they're going to go out there and try to start a Borg thing. But I wonder, again, that opening scene in scene 1 and how they want Picard. And they said, I need your help. What help? What type of help? I just don't get it.
He's still singing the song.
And what two Renees? And what two Renees are they?
Okay, that's interesting.
Oh.
That's one of those, wait, what? Two Renees. Okay, let's see what goes on.
What do you guys think is going to happen? What do you guys think that means?
I don't know. This is two Renees.
Double your pleasure.
Double your pleasure.
Yeah, it's a chewing gum commercial.
Is it two different timeline Renees or?
Well, one has to live and one has to die. So the first thought in my head was so Renee's going to fake her own death.
Well, the other thing I've got worried about here is if they've lost the La Sirena, how do they go back to the future? If they're going to take that ship back, is that ship going to be able to go around instead of to Europa, but around the sun and slingshot back to the future?
Remember what Q said, where the escape matters more than the actual quest?
What's going on with Q? Where's Q in all of this? I mean, so we've got Picard's thing figured out. Now we've got to go figure out Q's thing.
You got to realize with Q, he lost his power, so he's got to Uber it everywhere. So he's always going to be late now.
So it takes him a while.
It takes him a whole episode to get from one scene to the next scene for him.
He's going to get there just as the Borg ship leaves. He's going to point at this guy and go, oh, come on.
I missed it. Damn it.
Oh, my God.
So I don't know what they mean by that. What do you think it means, Heather?
I thought it means that she faked her own death, but it kind of pissed me off when Seven told Picard that and he wouldn't listen to her. And I'm like, fucking listen to her, Picard. You don't know better, you old fool.
No, he's too busy reminiscing.
Well, I like that Picard is refusing to accept an outcome that has not yet occurred. Mm-hmm. That's rule number 1 in time travel. If it hasn't happened yet, we can change it. Not that you should, but you could.
Technically, hasn't it happened already?
But you can change it, and then it's a paradox thing.
Yeah, Again, where the fuck's the temporal police? But Pat, what do you think there? Number 1 about two Renees.
I'm wondering how that. I'm not quite sure how that's going to play out. I don't know. That confused me a little bit.
No, it's a really mystery. How about you, Chief? What do you think?
No idea. I have to wait until next week to find out. I'm just, mesmerized by it.
And we may not even get it at the end of that.
Right. We may not even know because you just don't know.
That one part where the phaser, where he was holding the phaser too long, and he said that the phaser is identified via DNA. Mm-hmm. I just have to say, I think someone tampered with my phaser because now it only gives me a hand job.
That was Patrick's phaser.
Oh, Patrick, I'll give you your phaser back.
What are you guys using your phasers for?
I don't want that phaser back if it's giving you a hand job.
I'll clean it.
He says it gives nice little nummy feelings.
You're saying that your phaser has a vibrating setting.
Yeah, there is. It's a variation that we usually use for the Borg to get through.
I thought it was my tricorder. Obviously, I had it on vibrate, but apparently she has a phaser that vibrates.
You know how you have to have an alternating frequency to get through the Borg
Rotate
shields?
the frequency.
Frequency.
Right.
So it does rotating pulses on the lowest setting.
Very adjustable.
It was tampered with.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not going to... Wait. No, I don't want one of them. And if I find out you're selling them to the crew, you're going to the scrap pile. Okay, sorry. He says he has one for me, and it's like, no.
You don't want a rotating frequency vibrator?
That's who tampered with it. The dots tampered with it. They're the ones who made this.
Well, at least they didn't tampon with it.
Oh my God. Just no. Okay, well, now we're kind of at a cliffhanger, but not really a cliffhanger for this episode because they see the ship take off. And first off, I'm thinking it's not cloaked. You're going to show up on all kinds of alert systems.
It doesn't matter because by the time they get there, they're gone. I did like the effects work done with watching La Sirena take off, but it took so much dirt up with it. I'm like, it should have just shaken itself off like a dog and let all the dirt fly off like a dog shakes off the water.
Yeah, I agree. And the following week on HD Aliens, about in France, there was a ship that most people saw in the sky, and here's a picture of it. Was it American made or a UFO? Ancient aliens believe that it was, so it's going to be one of those things.
I did like the last sequence at the end. Rios looks back, looks up, and watches it warp away.
Yeah.
It's his ship. It's his baby. It's goodbye. It's a beautiful transition out of the episode, but at the same time, it's like he just lost his ship again.
You saw the look on his face. I know. He's like, I lost my baby to only make another one here on Earth.
Oh my.
Because it's obviously she's really into him.
But he hasn't been in her yet.
He's probably thinking he left his toothbrush aboard the starship.
Well, that's why he wanted to show her his bedroom.
Well, yeah, it's true. And maybe next season he's going to be singing one of Richie Ricardo's songs, My Baby's Having My Baby. So
not Richie Ricardo, Ricky Ricardo. We're having a baby.
You see, and that's why you're here on the ship to do corrections. So don't be mad that I keep giving you work because that's your job title or one of them.
Yeah, my job title is not moron whisperer.
You want moron whisperer? We have a moron on the ship? I didn't think so. Okay. Anybody got anything on this side? I think we milked this one.
I have one more. The people of Twitter, they were saying, a lot of people on Twitter were saying, why did he imagine an old woman in the next generation when his mother died young? And if you guys don't know what he was talking about, in the next generation where no one has gone before, his old mother comes to him offering him tea and a chat and that type of a thing. Well, in this episode, when he was discussing the guilt over his mother's death, Picard mentions that he used to imagine her as an older woman offering him tea and a chat, which directly references that appearance.
That's why he's saying that stuff.
They tied it up and everything because everyone's like, well, why would she be old in his, visions if she died young and he didn't know what she looked like?
All those
old.
People who said that are poser fans.
You know that?
They would know that.
Everybody on Twitter was also talking, well, not everybody, but there are people on Twitter talking about where's Picard's brother in all of this. You don't see his brother once in any of the flashbacks. You don't see him once in any of it.
That's a good point.
Where's his brother at?
His brother was a good boy. He just stayed the fuck out of the way.
He was off at boarding school.
Probably.
Oh, is that where it was? Okay.
But still,
well,
there's a lot of hole poking from Twitter.
I mean, Picard doesn't look very old in this, maybe 8 or 9. So maybe he's home from summer
vacation or something. Yeah.
It was definitely, we have a deep insight to the show, despite it put a lot of people on nerd rage on Twitter. I will say that there was a lot of nerd rage going on, but it still gave a really interesting backstory. So I thought it was pretty cool. And there was some tactical stuff which annoyed me. And now that I've talked to Chief about the transition, I can appreciate the flashbacks. I just didn't appreciate how they made it look like it took so long out of the show or the way they did it. And for me, Elnor coming back was definitely a high point in the possibility to see him in the future. But it just makes me wonder, with all of this finger fucking of the timeline, what is it going to do to the future? That's what I'd like to see. Is this a way for them to restart the next generation? Is this how they're going to re-jump everything
Tune in next week?
Without doing a Kelvin timeline type of thing? Well, we'll see.
When is season 3 going to air? Do we know?
No.
Hey, number 1, when is it?
I don't know.
You're supposed to find these things out. Come on.
What do I look like? I am not your...
Look,
person.
Agnes, find out for us.
I will knock you into next year.
Will it? That's when it's going to start?
Apparently.
It's going to be next year.
Yeah, next year.
That's his subtle hint. Okay, next year. All right, so now it's time for ratings. So, Lieutenant Commander.
I give this episode an 8 I was going to say 9, but I don't know. I don't think I liked it as much to give it a 9. I enjoyed the episode, but I think they could have handled the topic of suicide a little bit better. I don't think that they were, I mean, we didn't get like a warning beforehand. We didn't get like,
well, that would be a spoiler.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you know how they show that in...
I saw people on Twitter say, hey, yo, man, that was really deep and dark and you should have put a warning on there. And I'm like, yeah, but that would be a spoiler. It wouldn't be like... It's
or
really...
something afterwards, maybe. Like,
yeah,
did they do anything with the suicide hotline?
They should put one of those phone numbers at the end. When I see some of the CBS shows broadcast and I get it recorded on my TiVo and I get to the end credits, they put one of those, if you have a feeling, call this number right here. And I think that's a good thing. And I didn't see it at the end of this episode.
No, neither did I. Maybe they'll do it later on when they realize that, hey, we should have done that. So,
like, oops.
At the same time, I mean, yeah, if you've had this experience, this is really traumatic. Yeah, I can understand this being very disturbing and really messing with you. But
and
how do you
very
go through?
Triggering.
Well, yeah,
if
but
it's
how
something
do you,
that happened.
How do you go through life? Because hanging is something that happens in stories. It's happened in our past. Unfortunately, it may happen in our future. It's not a pleasant thing. Nobody thinks it's a pleasant thing. And it's all
unless you're into autoerotic asphyxiation.
That's also if
oh my
also
God.
Another subject that is triggering, but not to me personally. Allegedly.
Sure.
But yeah, it's an interesting. Academically, what do you do? Because you do want to be sensitive to the people. You don't want to hurt people. You don't want to injure them. At the same time, you're trying to tell a story. And this was definitely a huge moment in the story leading up to the mystery of what the hell happened to Picard's mother. Yeah, it's kind of a sour note. And it's not necessarily the fun Star Trek we grew up watching. That's for sure.
No, I had a friend that killed himself like way. His father had hung himself in the basement. And on the anniversary of that, about 10 years out, he hung himself in the exact same spot.
Jesus.
So it is something that is, and there was no warning, no indication that he was heading down that road. He just woke up and decided to do it. So
there's a song from back in the day from a band called DI called Richard Hung Himself. I don't know if you guys probably don't know it, but they were a punk band back in the day, and it was like one of my favorite songs.
Didn't the singer from In Excess hang himself?
Yes.
It's just sad. It's a sad way to hear people go out.
It is.
And it's hard to hear this stuff and you wonder, what can I do to help these people when it's hard to tell, how do you help these people?
Even people don't realize that the MASH theme song is about suicide. A lot of people hear the music.
It's called Suicide is Painless.
Yep.
It brings on many changes, and I can take or leave it if I choose.
So it's definitely one of those things that they should have touched on. How about you, number one? What would you give this episode?
I'm going to go with 8.5. I liked the flashbacks of getting to know how Picard became Picard, and Seven becoming Seven again, and the trauma that, that causes her. Raffi admitting that, the only reason she kept Elnor back was because she was afraid of being alone. I mean, there was a lot of reveals in this, and Jurati explaining to the Borg Queen that they're alike because they're both lonely. So there was a lot of exploring feelings and getting to realizations. And
that's a good point.
I thought it was really, really good.
And how about you, Chief?
I think I'm in the 8, maybe 8.5. It definitely isn't a single episode. This is part of a big story, and to rate a story based on a chapter is not fair to the whole story. So I think it's hard to give an exact rating. I did appreciate the finding out of the emotionals, being revealed like that. Raffi and Elnor was... I mean, of course, that Elnor loves Raffi, and that Elnor didn't just go off when Raffi's upset that thinking she sent Elnor with her instead of to stay back on his to go with Raffi to Starfleet instead of stay home and be Romulan nun guy. But that Elnor loves her. He would follow her willingly, and that's what he did. And to Raffi not understand that because emotionally she thinks she got him killed and it was her fault. It's kind of a big guilt thing that you don't realize, no, this person did what they were doing because they love what they're doing. I think that's important. then that's just one little part of the story. There's all this other stuff. I mean, about Jurati and the Borg Queen, the loneliness. That's interesting too. But I want to see the rest of the story. I want to see how they get it all fixed up and Back to the Future.
I agree. When I first got on today, I was going to give it about a 6, but listening to your explanation of the flashbacks and how Heather and number one put it together, as well as seeing Elnor, makes me bump it to an 8, because it was a lot of interesting stuff. And you're right, the detail and everything that was there to show you the backstory, and you get a chance to really peek into more on Seven's character and to Ralphie's character and Picard and how everything all molded together. I think it's pretty cool. And we still don't know what's going on with, I guarantee next episodes we're going to get a whole bunch of Q. So I'm definitely an 8.
Well, I'm going to see if we get more Issa Briones on the next episode too.
Yeah, because they still have her.
Hopefully it's not QAnon.
Did you guys see the trailer for next episode?
Mm-hmm. There's a trailer?
Yeah, so Google it. They have a trailer for the next episode.
I don't want it. That'd be like a spoiler. I don't want to look.
Oh, I totally looked. Yes, Q's back for sure. Q will definitely be in it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Before we tie it up, there's something a little bit weighty we have to do, because apparently...
What? Red alert?
What was that? Did we get a boarding party? Stand by. Initiate internal scans. Oh, okay, thanks. Heather, you forgot to turn off one of the pots you were using in the galley.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I was making oatmeal before the show, and then I remember
you were busy playing with your new phaser, weren't you?
Yeah, it's not good.
She was nuking her dildos.
However, before we end for the show for today, I want to take this moment to say, if anybody out there is thinking about suicide or self-harm, please call 1-800-273-8255. That's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Help is available 24 hours a day. They have English as well as Spanish. So please, if you really feel you're lonely and you're thinking about it, call. That number, once again, is 1-800-273-8255. You're not alone.
Thank you, really cool that you put that out there.
So there's definitely the stuff that's out there for you. So thank you for listening to us, and I hope you're excited as we are, because next week is going to be two shows in one. We also have the end of Picard, as well as the beginning of Strange New Worlds. So you really get a chance. If you haven't saw the trailer or the opening sequence for Strange New Worlds, it's amazing. You really need to watch it. So thanks everyone for joining us. I really appreciate everyone coming to the show. I assume you already found us, but if you want to find more places to watch us, just listen to the end of this broadcast, because Chief does a really good job telling you where else to find us. If you want to send us an email, send it to the collective at starfleetunderground.com. That is the collective at starfleetunderground.com. We are now HTTPS secured for your protection. Just make sure you address the email to which cast member you want, and we'll respond back to you. So thank you so much for joining us. And remember, just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG, and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.